here with
Tina Mabry, CEO of Morgan's Mark and writer, director, and producer.
Can you talk a bit about what Solace is about?
Yes, it's about a young girl who basically, after the death of her father, ends up having to move in with her religious, grandparents. And you look at the issues of how she is able to deal with her own eating disorder, and as well as befriending a girl who is a beautiful dancer who happens to be a cutter. And I think these, issues that we don't really see on television, and definitely you don't see them on the big screen that's coming from an African American lens. And so to actually be able to expose that and push those limits, and you needed something passed like Secretary. I mean, it was so long ago before you really look at something where you had someone who was cutting, but also just to get in and look at the depth of it and to understand why, without judgment, that people go through this and how they recover and to go through that process and feel that with it.
Well, how did you, approach this topic?
Well, Chaiko Amawale, who's the director, the writer and director, she dealt with a lot of these issues growing up and didn't know how to contextualize it in her life, didn't know how to talk about the things that she was dealing with. So she really wanted to make a film for young people. And I think oftentimes when you're dealing with heavy subject matter like this, how do you get into it? So the movie, while it addresses heavy subject matter, is very young, very youthful, very fun, and at the same time kind of goes into the underbelly of some of the darker issues that younger people deal with.
So I'm here with
Chaiko Amawale, writer, director, and producer of Solace.
So for those who aren't here, can you talk a bit about the film?
Sure. It's a coming-of-age film that explores a black girl who discovers she has an eating disorder and a group of her friends and her family who essentially use really dysfunctional ways to cope. And it was inspired by me having an eating disorder and being in recovery and literally not knowing what was happening to me, because the idea of an eating disorder is usually like a rich white girl.
And what was one of the biggest challenges in, when it came to writing this or making the film?
Well, I'm, writing about food and the pain of being a binge eater, the pain of having cutting ideations, all of that came up while I was writing. And there were times when we were shooting when the actress Hope did such a good job. I would have to run to the bathroom and cry because I'm in recovery for a long time, but it would remind me of when I was in that place. But I guess that would be the most challenging in terms of the making, outside of money. But all filmmakers have challenges with money, yeah.
I'm here with
Hope Alaide Wilson.
And what is your role in the film?
I'm in Solace. I play the lead role of Soul. She's a young teenager who has just suffered a great loss and she moves in with some estranged relatives and kind of falls to an unfortunate coping mechanism as she's dealing with the grief. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense.
It's intense, but it's also a lot of fun. It's really it's an unconventional kind of art house film. I think Chaiko is really original in how she kind of approaches the topic of grief and also different heavier topics, but she does it in a way that I think will kind of keep people at the edge of their seat and really curious and interested, so I'm excited about that.
So I'm here with
Hi, I'm Chelsea Tavares. I'm from the movie Solace.
And can you talk a bit about your character?
My character is absolutely insane and very crazy. She would be one of the characters in A Girl Interrupted. She's very misunderstood, very sad, depressed, but fun, and you want to be her friend so bad, and you want her to like you, but she's also really mean. So she's very toxic, but she grows and meets these cool friends along the way that helps us all through our problems, and she's really cool. A lot of girls could learn from her because she's crazy, but she's cool. I like playing her.
And what do you want audiences to walk away with after watching Solace?
I want them to walk away with feeling you told my story, and thank you for giving me license to that. Or two, you opened my eyes to something that I had not seen, a different perspective, and to walk out and be able to discuss these issues. So I think that it's really pivotal, and that's the whole thing about film. If you come out of the film, even if you don't like a film for hours, if you're discussing it, we did our job.